Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel and welcome to another Mix It Up Monday. I'm so excited about these because my pantry and my kitchen is filled with super convenient mixes to use. But this video is all about beverages, and I'm going to show you how to make 4 of my favorite beverages. In this video I'll do my 4 favorite beverages, and then in another video I'm going to do all these coffees that are really cool. So this one is just simply an instant sugar-free hot cocoa mix. Love this one. Now it's going to have a 1.5 cups of Splenda. Some people are not Splenda fans. Some of you want to use a different type of sweetener. It's fine. You could even just use sugar, but you're going to need 1.5 cups of Splenda, which would be the same as sugar because it measures out equally. So there. Dry milk, you're going to need 1 cup of that. And that's the good old dried milk. If you're using instant milk, you'll need 2 cups because you have to double it. And there's going to be a 3/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, which I have right there. And then 1 cup of the instant, the creamer, the powdered creamer. And then the secret is your box of sugar-free chocolate flavored Jello pudding, and this is the 1.4 ounce or the 4 half cup serving box. This is super simple. I already made one batch, and my whole situation for my video was not working well, so I'm actually going to make a double batch so that I can make this for you, because I already made a batch. But that's okay. I got grandkids visiting, and they're not going to complain if there is extra instant cocoa for them. No one complains. Now I'm just going to mix all these things together, and then I'm going to put it in a food processor and let it process down to a very light powder. And that's going to be awesome. And then you're just going to take a couple of tablespoons, I think it's like 2 to 3 tablespoons, to a mug of boiling water. There's the secret right here. And the other thing that I'm doing is that I had these marshmallows in my pantry, and they started to kind of, they're like getting a little bit dried out, and they're going to be perfect. I'm going to put those in there, and see, I already have one batch done, and I have some marshmallows in there, but I'm going to put a whole bunch more. Okay, so now let me get my little food processor over here, and I'm going to mix this up a bit, and then let me get my blade. It's not right here. Hang on. Okay, there you go. I got my blade in there. Now I'm just going to kind of get this mixed. Then I'm going to pour it into my food processor and let that get, not all of it, I'm going to pour about half of it. Do this kind of half batches. There we go. I'm going to pop the lid on. We're just going to let that process. Let it work itself down to a real fine powder. Okay, let me check that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now let me get my funnel, and I will put some more in this jar. There's my funnel. Perfect. Now, I'm just going to kind of pour this in there and hold this blade in. There we go. I love this. It's perfect in the evening. Okay. Now let me get the rest of this going. I'm not going to put the marshmallows in here, but I am going to put it in my jar when I put this all in the jar. See? Okay. So I like the fact that this is sugar-free. You can have 2 that way. Let that go. All right, and that's all there is to it. Okay, let me put this over by the sink, and then I'll finish that up, and I'll show you how I'm going to put those marshmallows in there. So I think this is probably way cheaper. I should figure out the cost of it sometime, because I know the mixes, are way cheaper than buying the store-bought kind. And I just kind of like doing it. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Okay, now let me put the marshmallows in there. And these are just kind of a little bit drier than normal because this little thing wasn't sealed tight as it should be. So that's fine. And if you don't have older marshmallows, at least this way you're not wasting them, you can just put fresh marshmallows right on top of it. Now, I'm just going to put the lid on, and then I'm going to kind of mix it around and get those marshmallows worked down into there. You can see how they're going to mix in there. And now I'm going to take 2 or 3 tablespoons into a cup of boiling water, or really hot, you know, off the stove. And then I'm going to have my hot chocolate mix. So there you have it. Instant sugar-free hot chocolate mix. The secret is the pudding. So I hope you guys give this a try and I hope you like it. And I will move on to the next video right now. Okay, we're back. And this is my absolute favorite. It is cinnamon milk mix. And this one I'm going to be using Splenda instead of sugar just so it makes it a little bit sugar-free. But what you're going to need is 2 cups of dry milk. You will need 4 if you're using instant milk. And then a cup of the powdered creamer. And then a cup of sugar or Splenda. And then 1.5 to 2, I use 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. That's all there is to this absolutely wonderful drink. And then I use my cool little mixy thing. And you just want to keep going around here. Make sure that it's super well incorporated, well mixed. So this is just so, I don't know, it's just such a good thing at the end of the day, right before bed. And this is going to take about 2 tablespoons in a mug of hot water. And so let me get this mixed up really well. And this is another one of those ones, though, that all your ingredients can be shelf stable. So you could grab this and make it any time as long as you've got these things on your pantry shelf. In fact, I think I did this one for the Shelf Stable recipe collaboration, and it was good. This has been one of my all-time favorites. Okay, so that's it. Cinnamon milk. Okay, that's all there is to it. I'm going to pour it in my jar. Now I've got my hot chocolate, and I've got my cinnamon milk. That's perfect. Get that work done. Okay, perfect. So there is cinnamon milk. So now you have instant hot chocolate and cinnamon milk. And now I will be back with another one of my favorite beverages. Okay guys, I've got everything out for my favorite vanilla chai. So it's 2.5 cups of white sugar. I'm using Splenda because I told you that that's what I'm going to do. 1.5 cups of unsweetened instant iced tea. I'm going to put that there. 1 cup of dry milk powder. And remember, if you're using instant, you'll need to double that. And then a cup of powdered non-dairy creamer. And then a cup of the non-dairy French vanilla powdered creamer. Then spices, and this is what's going to make it a chai. So good. 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground cloves, and a teaspoon of ground cardamom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this well. Then I'm also going to put it in my food processor to really turn it into a nice powder that will dissolve really quickly. Because of the spices and stuff, you want it to be really well mixed. So I'm going to go ahead and keep mixing this up. And then I'm going to do it in like half. Maybe I'll make this into 3 batches. This is a big batch. Like you can cut this in half if you want, but I like to have this. And it's not like it lasts a long time on your pantry shelf or in your kitchen. So, especially if you vacuum seal it, then it'll last a really long time. Let me get that real mixed in there. There we go. And I just love it. It smells so good already. And then I don't know, as I've gotten older, I'm not such a fan of drinking a lot of coffee. I don't know, it just tastes bitter to me. Maybe it's just the kind of coffee or something. But I like these kind of drinks, which is why I'm trying to gear toward having them sugar-free or low sugar or lower calorie, I guess. Okay, so I've got that pretty well mixed together. Now I'm going to put it in my food processor. We're going to let this go for a bit. Turn this into a good powder. I guess I could probably do it. There you go, that's good. Just going to get that really good and powdered down, and then I'll put it in. I've got a ½ gallon jar because I know it's going to make a lot. And sometimes if you're looking at these things, you can look and figure out how many cups of things they have, and then that helps you decide what jar to use. So there we are. See how, I want you to see the difference. So see the difference in this powder versus before. Okay, so that's, you want to make sure that you get this well blended. So I'm going to go ahead and finish blending this, and then I'll come back when I'm all in the jar ready to seal it up. Okay, there you are. I jarred it up, and I always write on the top how much to put in the mug of hot water. Now I'm going to do my very last one, which is another one of my favorites, just spiced tea. So I wanted to point out that I had the big jar for this because the amount that you put in, it always throws me off. I feel like it's going to be the ½ gallon container, but after you process it down, it'll fit in a quart jar. So there you have it, and I'm going to come back and I will do my final one, which is spiced tea. Okay, here's my final favorite of the 4 I'm going to show you tonight. So this is just spiced tea, and I have 2 cups of instant unsweetened iced tea. I'm just going to pour that in here. Oh, where's my blade? Hang on, I got to get my blade. Ah, it was sitting beside over there. Okay, 2 cups of instant iced tea. And then a ½ cup of like your instant lemon drink. And then a ¼ cup of instant orange drink. And then here you have a ¼ cup of sugar. I'm using Splenda. And then a ¼ teaspoon of cinnamon and cloves and 1/8 teaspoon of ginger. And now I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to mix this up. This is so good. Okay, and that's just going to go in this quart jar. And it's going to be awesome. Okay, we're going to let that go. Looks pretty good. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Now this one, not everything is sugar-free, so I'm going to have to pay attention when I'm drinking this. You don't want to drink too many of these. Okay, get this out of the way. Super excited about having these drinks on hand, especially when my grandkids come to visit, because that's going to be amazing for them. They're going to love having these. Okay. This is actually really good just to add into ice water too, like if you're just making instant iced tea. Oh, it could have just gone in a pint jar. Maybe I'm going to have to make twice as much. Let me get a pint jar and put that in there. Okay guys, there you have it. My 4 favorite drinks that aren't a coffee. So I've got the cinnamon milk, 2 tablespoons per mug of hot water. Spiced tea, 2 tablespoons per mug of hot water, but I also will just put this in like I'm making instant tea. And the instant spiced chai, the vanilla chai, is so good. And then of course the old hot chocolate. And these 3 are low calorie, this one is not. So I'm glad it's in a smaller jar. But anyway, I hope you guys give these a try. And my next video, I'm going to focus on coffees. They are so good. But for now, get started on these because I know you're going to like them. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.